All right, counter punch boxing. What's going on, YouTube? The customary intro. There we go. There we go. All right, Canelo Golovkin. Cut the music. Cut the music. All right, cut it, cut it, cut it. Okay, check it out. I'm going to make it quick. Canelo Golovkin, okay, they're all over the damn map right now, man. They're in the UK, you know, they're over there promoting the upcoming fight. And I'm gonna go over a lot of things in the video today, and you know, so just bear with me if I'm all over the map, right? But you're probably wondering why you're looking at a very angry Gennady Golovkin, okay? And it's because this clown is in the audience right here, Billy Joe Saunders, basically taunting Canelo and Golovkin, okay? He's in press row, right? He gets the mic, and they basically let him ask a couple of questions like he's a member of the press, okay? You know, I guess he got his credentials through Andre Ward, because apparently anybody can get press credentials nowadays. You just got to know somebody. So, first question right off the bat, boom, why did you vacate the WBC, Mr. Canelo? And Canelo just said, hey, you know, they wanted to dictate the purse split. And, you know, we had a court case going on in Miami, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, we've all heard the excuses for why Canelo vacated the WBC, but we know the truth. I'm not going to go over it. You know the truth. I know the truth, okay? Then he goes on to ask Gennady Golovkin, you know, he basically says, you know, I tried to make a fight with you, and I guess you lost your pen. You know, get a new joke. That's like a year-old, buddy. You know, I guess he lost his pen. You know, you remember Eubanks lost the pen when they were trying to make the Gennady Golovkin fight, and then, you know, boom, here comes Eddie Hearns, and he makes the Kell Brook Golovkin fight in like an hour, right? So that's where the whole lost your pen thing came in. And then, you know, he went on to say, you know, look, I think Canelo's going to beat you, Golovkin. So, you know, basically he was kind of saying to Canelo, will you fight me next? And look, here's the thing. So, of course, Gennady Golovkin, and right here the picture. So after all that happened, he's over here off to the side. Okay, you see, originally they're all up here at this table over here, right? So after that, Golovkin, the guy is to the left of him, and he's trying to do the damn interview, but he can hear Billy Joe Saunders over there arguing with people, running his mouth. I mean, this guy is such a clown. And then Golovkin says, you know, he's like, oh, yeah, you know, he's a clown. You know, he talks too much, you know. That's what he says. He's like, he talks too much. He's a clown, you know. We tried to make the fight in July. He didn't want to make it, you know, and then we went with Canelo. And, you know, and do I think they will make the fight? Sure I do. Why not? I mean, to become the undisputed middleweight champion in history? Abso-fucking-lutely, I think they'll do it. You know, but right now he needs to just sit back. And not only that, I mean, even Gennady Golovkin brought this up because he is a student of boxing. He knows his shit. Okay, you look at Arturo Akavov, in Saunders' last fight, he looked like a blown-up, overweight, fat whale that was, like, beached out of water. I mean, the guy looked like my uncle in there fighting somebody, for real. I mean, and even after that fight, Billy Joe Saunders, he said, look, you know, based on that performance, you know, I don't deserve a Gennady Golovkin fight, okay? I mean, he even admitted it. I mean, this guy is becoming like the new Amir Khan, you know, chasing fights around. So, you know, this guy needs to just go away, shut up. Oh, and by the way, September 17th, is it? 16th, whatever, 16th, 17th, the Canelo Golovkin fight. Billy Joe Saunders has a fight on the same damn night, on the exact same night, okay? So it's going to be like this huge middleweight showdown, and now they're talking about Billy Joe Saunders, David Lemieux. Now, we know David Lemieux ranked number 2, Willie Monroe Jr. ranked number 5. He's also in the talks, and two other guys I'm not going to mention, kind of unknowns. You wouldn't know them anyway, so no need to mention them. But now they're talking about a possible David Lemieux-Saunders fight on the same night, September 16th. You know, so, hey, I mean, I kind of like that. You know, we'll see what happens, you know. I mean, if he can get past Lemieux, but the way I see that going down is Lemieux knocking his ass out, and then Lemieux back in the running for a Golovkin fight because Golovkin beats Canelo. Now, what was weird? What was odd? Golovkin kept talking about a rematch. I'm like, why does he keep bringing up a rematch? Now, we know Canelo has a rematch clause in the upcoming fight. And you know, like I said, Golovkin just kept bringing up, you know, a rematch. So, you know, I don't know, man. You know, we'll see. And now, during the interview with Max Kellerman, here they are right here. Let me show you guys a picture real quick. During the interview, Canelo, or here we go, Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman, they're trying to, like, you know, they're trying to get a rise out of these two guys. They're like, you know, do you like each other? You know, do you want to, you know, do you have, like, you know, bad intent going into the fight? And then they were like, no, you know, personally, no, you know, I don't have a, or no, as in no, I don't have a problem with him. We do like each other, you know, but of course, on fight night, you know, it's going to be a different story. And then they were saying, you know, who will this fight determine pound for pound? And they both said, yes, I think this fight will determine pound for pound. That Andre Ward Kovalev shit did not determine pound for pound. This fight will. Okay, and in the real boxing people's minds, this will determine who is pound for pound. Okay, but. And this is Golovkin, you know, they kept asking all these kind of tough questions, right? So, but then they went on to talk about that they actually, during that segment, they brought up Billy Joe Saunders again. I'm like, why do they keep bringing this guy's name up? Like, I'm sick and tired of it, you know. But, you know, whatever. I guess, you know, if it's going to make the news, and they'll do it. But yeah, you know, honestly, here's what I think. You know, I put out a video about 2 or 3 days ago, and I asked you guys a question. I said, you know, with all the things going on right now, especially in the Kovalev-Ward fight, the corruption, the incompetence, whatever you want to call it, does it change the way you look at the fight? You know, I'm talking about the Golovkin-Canelo fight, and for me personally, yes, it does. It changes the way I look at this fight because, I mean, man, it's like the fucking WWE, like anything can happen now, you know, so I don't know. I just, you know, as far as originally I had Golovkin winning, and I still do as of now. And I haven't made like an official prediction, but I still have him winning. But, you know, it's just like the way things have been lately. Who the hell knows? You know, it's like, how do I know? You know, but you know, let me show you a couple of more pictures. And another thing that I was disappointed in, you know, the press tour. Okay, I really wanted to go cover this fight, and I still might go out to Vegas and do it. But, you know, what are they in, like New York and Vegas, and that's it? I mean, what about San Antonio, Dallas, Austin? I mean, what about the rest of the damn country? And, of course, Oscar De La Hoya, you know, he keeps talking about how, you know, the fight's going to sell itself. We don't need to promote it. And he's comparing it, you know, he's saying, you know, this is going to be the best middleweight fight in middleweight history. Bold fucking statement, like better than Hagler Hearns, like what? You know, and he's talking about the four king, you know, he's talking about, you know, Hagler Hearns, Roberto Duran, you know, brought up Sugar Ray Leonard, you know, things like this. So, you know, he's saying that this will basically overshadow those fights. And, you know, they're both come forward guys. Neither guy likes to back up, and that's true. That's true. I mean, you kind of got two trains colliding because, look, Canelo, I mean, he doesn't back up. Golovkin, he doesn't back up. So, you know, they're just going to sit there and just bang it out, I guess. But, you know, I don't know. I mean, that's a bold statement Oscar De La Hoya is making. And another thing they keep talking about is the Mayweather-McGregor fight, and I'm going to spend about 10 seconds talking about this garbage fight. You know, and Gennady Golovkin, even he's kind of on a bit of a campaign himself. He's like, you know, if you want a real fight, you'll watch our fight, okay? If you want a real fight, watch Canelo Golovkin. If you want a show, if you want Dancing with the Stars Part 2, go watch McGregor Mayweather, because that's exactly what it is. I mean, look, Mayweather-Pacquiao was a $500 million Dancing with the fucking Stars, okay? Now, if you want to see Part 2, go watch Mayweather and Conor McGregor. Now, you know, and I don't know, I'm not going to get into that, but he is a southpaw. You know, he could land a left right down the middle. That's the only chance I give that guy. It's going to be a hug fest, Dancing with the Stars. So, but that's about it. In other news, real quick, let me throw this in. Kell Brook had his surgery about 2 days ago on the broken orbital bone. You know, he's doing good, looking good. You know, is his career over? I don't know. Here's Canelo's mom. I believe that's his mother right there to the right. I've seen her in a lot of interviews, so I'm not quite sure. But yeah, like I said, these guys, I mean, the main theme of the press tour is don't watch Mayweather, Conor McGregor. Watch Gennady Golovkin Canelo. You know, it's going to be the biggest pay-per-view fight in history, the biggest middleweight fight in history. I mean, look, they build these fights up, and let me in here. Give me 30 more seconds. They build this shit up, okay? And then usually, more times than not, we're completely disappointed. Like Mayweather, Pacquiao, completely disappointed. Okay, Canelo Chavez, and even Stephen A. Smith, you know, he was like, look, you know, you kept your word, okay? You gave us Gennady Golovkin and Canelo, but, you know, first we had to like sit through and bear through a Canelo con, and then just a terrible Canelo Chavez, you know, so will this be the fight that just rejuvenates boxing? Okay, and my answer is going to be yes. Now, am I falling for the same old trap? Possibly, you know, possibly, but you know, I'm hoping that the Canelo Golovkin fight is the fight that you know, of our generation, because we haven't had it yet. We haven't had our Hagler Hearns, you know, or we haven't had that Tyson Buster Douglas moment. You know, we haven't had the Ali Frazier, like, you know, like, we need a good fight. So and also, I've got some really good news, breaking news on Manny Pacquiao. I would just go ahead and tell you now, but not many Pacquiao fans are going to click on this video, so I'm gonna drop that video next. Now, look, we put out a new video damn near every day. Every day. You know, they talk about hard work, dedication. Man, I do that in my sleep. I mean, I work hard for you guys. We don't monetize this bullshit, although I'm going to start monetizing again soon because I need to go out there and cover fights. Got to make a little money to support the channel. You know, I'm not like begging for money on Patreon. You know, I bring you guys the latest, the greatest news for absolutely free. All I ask is you hit the like button and subscribe if you want to. If you don't, cool. If you do, cool. I'm not going to pander for it, but it does help the channel, and it supports what we do. You know, and I think, you know, we basically counter the bullshit channels out there because there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. So, but anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it at that, and I will be back with another one soon. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a great weekend.